Hi, friends. For those of you who may not know me, I'm the intern on staff for the Julian Way for the next 9 months, and my name is Matthew Schroeder, and I am incredibly happy to be here. Um, Justin gave me the opportunity to record a video blog for you guys this week, and I was more than happy to take him up on that. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out something interesting to talk about for this blog, and one particular idea kept sticking with me. I have cerebral palsy and I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm also queer, and so I have had trouble finding representation for myself until recently. Things are changing on that front, but because of that, I've gotten very used to finding my representation in unexpected places, and I love doing that. And one of the places I love doing that is in Greek mythology. Um, I love many different stories of Greek mythology, but one story that you may not be familiar with is the story of Hephaestus, who was clearly and explicitly disabled because he was born lame. And his mother cast him out of Olympus for that because she was ashamed that he was lame. But he ended up being really, really good at blacksmithing to the point that he crafted many, many things for the gods and humans alike. And basically, Olympus and most of the earth wouldn't function without his blacksmithing and artisanship. And this really spoke to me because so often society tries to define us in terms of our disabilities and how those disabilities um, matter or don't matter to non-disabled people. And our disabilities are certainly part of who we are, and we should never be ashamed of that. But at the same time, we may have skills that have nothing to do with our disabilities. We may have the ability to create art. We may have the ability to write. We may have the ability to do so many things, including, emotional skills like being there for people and listening actively and that sort of thing. And, we're not really seen that way by society, and it's really unfortunate. I remember growing up in church, and strangers would come up to me and try and pray for me for my healing, and they never offered to pray for me for things that I wanted prayer for. They just, you know, prayed for what they assumed I needed. And there were so many times that I was called inspiring, and they were so happy to see me, and while I tried graciously and I tried graciously to be like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that I can represent some aspect of God's glory. Thank you for this. There was always a part of me that was like, why is that inspiration because of something that I'm not really doing? Why can't you be inspired by the things that I've accomplished, or you know different qualities you've noticed about me? It was always sort of about what they thought about themselves in comparison to me. They felt better about themselves because I was around and I had life so much harder according to them. And so when I look at the story of Hephaestus, I see someone who was cast out of his society and sort of, um, developed a skill that wasn't dependent on that society, that he chose something for himself, and that something was blacksmithing. Of course, it gets a little complicated when you consider that he's a god, and gods tend to have inherent abilities. But since he developed that ability on Earth and not on Olympus, I would like to think that that means he developed it through his own hard work and skill rather than it being an inherent ability that he necessarily had. He was also the god of fire, so that helped the situation, I'm sure. Um, but we all have inherent affinities for certain things, and so I don't think that uh, diminishes his ability as a disabled person. I was reading Romans 12 earlier, and in Romans 12, Paul talks about the idea of not thinking about yourself more highly than you should. And I disagree with Paul on many things for many reasons. And I think that Paul left something out here. I think that he also should have said to think of yourself as highly as you ought to, because as disabled people, um, it's really easy to think when we're cast out like this that that means we don't have anything to offer, and that's simply not true. Um, just like Hephaestus, we have skills and abilities that are unique to us that bring joy and peace and ease to other people. And even as we struggle with finding our own place in this world, sometimes we can rest easy knowing that we will find our own skills and gifts because that is what God has given us. And so I leave you today with the idea that and you are loved and wonderful, and you will find your skills and abilities and find that they bring so much life to the people around you. Abundant life, as Jesus said. You are loved and wonderful, my friends. Have a wonderful day.